And we're live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Fearless Friday. It is time for you to be fearless. I'm Lisa J. You can check out more resources for me at lisajcoaching.com, but let's jump right into our interview today because we have the amazing Denise Walsh on our interview today. Hi, Denise. Welcome to Fearless Friday.
Hi, Lisa. Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me.
Denise, you guys, has created a top leader in her network marketing company. She's created her own training program. She's created a book and a journal that you can check out. Denise is going to tell you how you can do that. And I got to coach Denise, oh gosh, maybe about a year and a half ago, and just witness firsthand, I believe, what I would call an anointing. And it's an anointing over her life. It's anointing over her and Brandon, her husband, their family, their boys. But most importantly, and here it is, because ambition is not a dirty word. It's an anointing under who she's being, how powerful she is as a female entrepreneur. And so Denise, I want you to share, I'm guessing it wasn't always like that. So could you share with us, what did it take for you, Denise Walsh, to really, truly become a woman who's fearless?
Well, thank you again, Lisa, for having me. I'm honored to just know you. You've been really a pivotal part of my journey. And we all know that this journey isn't one we do alone. And I really appreciate you supporting me during that season of growth, for sure. But no, I'd love to say that I was born with full of strength and leadership skills and all of, but no, that's not true. I like to say I was a really good follower growing up. I was like the really strong midfielder in soccer. So the center mid in soccer can run everywhere, can work really hard, can do all the throw-ins, but doesn't have to score. And so for a lot of my years, I was kind of one step behind. I was working really hard. I was trying really hard, but I didn't really want anyone to see me, to notice. I didn't want to score. I didn't want to lead. I just kind of followed. And that served me well. There was a purpose in that. I really had strengths that I could kind of own and settle in and enjoy. And I ended up being a camp counselor throughout my college years, which really, I like have a piece of my heart at camp. I just love experiential learning, and camp for me was a place for that. I went to Wheaton, which is right outside with Chicago, for grad school, and I got my master's in clinical psychology because I thought that was my best way to serve the world. You know, when I was at camp, I was like, I love these kids so much, and they don't even know their potential. And I thought psychology was my way to show people their potential and help them to blossom. Well, anybody that's in the helping professions realizes that it's not all that it's cracked up to be. And I was tired, bored, burnt out by the age of 25. They call it your quarter life crisis. And so I was spinning my wheels for quite a while. I wasn't sure what to do. I didn't want to make the wrong move. And so I stayed in my job, even though I didn't like it, for about 5 or 6 years. And I feel like during that time, I was looking for all this outside validation. Like I really wanted someone to just tell me what to do. And it would have been really awesome if God said, here's your next step, go do it, please. And I was looking, you know what I mean? I was like looking all around and waiting for that outside person or validation to just tell me, because I didn't want to be wrong. And what I found throughout that season, Lisa, is that I really just had to look within. And when I started looking within and connecting with myself again and just taking one step at a time, I found my business. Yeah. And like, I just don't think it's an accident.
Right there, like, what did that look like for you? Was that through prayer? Was that through therapy? Was that through just being tired of being tired?
Yeah, getting to a place where I was like, no one else cares more about my life than I do. I've got to make a decision. I've got to get quiet. I've got to ask myself instead of asking everybody around me, what do I want? And then trust that what I want is what God wants for me too. And so, not second guess myself every step of the way, which often happens. So I asked myself, all right, what is it that you want? What do you want life to look like? And then I started, and then once I knew that, I feel like I could ask outside people a little bit more, because I do believe you need to ask for help. but I couldn't do that until I knew what I wanted. So I found my business through our small group at church. And it was just through asking for community and finding support, and you're kind of feeling lost and lonely. Support is a good thing. And so we joined our small group, and that's where the business found us.
I didn't know that part. That's really cool. Yeah.
It is. And again, it wasn't something I thought I'd be good at because, I was a psychologist. I wasn't a salesperson. I didn't know business. I didn't know marketing. And so I actually started as a product user because I've always been interested in health and wellness. That spoke my language. But then my husband started to see the dollar signs. So he was one that really worked, like he had the vision, and I could follow that. Like I could catch his vision for our company. And within 3 years, we both were able to quit our full-time jobs, and we've been full-time with our company longer than I was in the corporate world, which is an amazing, that's legacy changing experience right there.
How many years have you been with your company?
Almost 12.
Yeah, 12 years. All right,
Yeah.
Beautiful. You're one loyal girl too. Love that. And don't we realize that in our profession, speaking of the network marketing profession, but really every industry, when you can marry your idea, marry your company, and deal with everything, all the good, all that it is, all that it isn't, but stay committed and loyal to your first love, your first company, you will see longevity. You will see a profit that you would not see had you jump ship and go with a different company. Could you talk a little bit about that conversation and how you were fearless, even when it felt like maybe you should find a different company? I don't even know, Denise, if that ever happened for you or with you and Brandon, but how did you two stay committed, even when it looked like it wasn't working?
Yeah, we didn't have momentum for a lot of years. We were kind of grinding. This was before Facebook. This was before smartphones. This was before MapQuest, or I'm sorry, GPS. That was when we had MapQuest. So yeah, it was a very different world back then. And my struggle was not, I didn't even understand the industry. So it wasn't like I was researching companies or really learning what else was out there. I was trying to decide, is this for me? Is this something I can do? Can I be good at this type of industry? And I remember telling Brandon all of these areas I really thought I should get better at, like, oh, maybe I need to be louder and more obnoxious and own the room when I come in. And maybe I need to be like more of a salesperson and drive it home. And I was telling him all of these ways that I needed to get better. And he finally said to me, Denise, you've always been a good friend. Just do that. And I thought, like, that was a really big aha moment for me when I realized I didn't have to be someone else. I could be good at this because of who I already am. So then I started thinking, all right, well, who am I? What do I like? What comes naturally to me? And how can I fit that into my business? And so it was like one step in front of the other. I remember being like listening to music on the way to parties, psyching myself up and being scared and nervous before calls. And all of that, we all start somewhere. But what I really learned in that season was just to find what made me tick and then do that within my business.
That is brilliant. You guys, did you really hear that? That's just genius, really, to receive that. Okay, I'm enough. And the skill set that I have, especially if it's, I'm a good friend, just hone in on that skill set, hone in on and exemplify that ability, that natural ability, whatever it is, and just watch how you start attracting people to make you more holistic in your business. Yeah. And then their skill set starts rubbing off on you.
Yeah. It was so cool because I felt like once I worked on my strengths and heightened those, my weaknesses got better too. And I didn't even have to focus on it at all. Okay. The other thing that I found was I was in a safe community. And when I entered my business, we entered a team. And I didn't really know that I was getting a team along with it, all my sidelines and uplines and support and corporate and all of those things. But what I fell in love and I found a home where I felt safe. So when you feel safe, I feel like walls come down, roots are formed, and you can truly thrive. But you have to be like invested in the community in order to feel safe, in order to plant your roots, in order to fully thrive. And I really do believe that was a big part of not only the loyalty, but of me growing within this experience is because of the culture and the atmosphere of feeling safe and welcome.
Okay,
and
so let's talk about, so that's what, happened for you. Now, how
Mm-hmm.
did you gift that back? When you started building a team and you realized, especially as a psychologist and
Yeah.
most likely as a mom, that that is an important element. What did you bring into your team as a brand new member? Give us a couple of ideas that you really took the leadership position in creating. What I'm hearing you saying is
Yeah.
create culture. Create
Yes.
culture.
Yes, yes, because if we're talking about being fearless, we want to set people up for success. And the way that we do that is to create a space for them to feel safe, right? So a couple things that I recommend doing and that I implemented within my team was, number one, figuring out their personality color, helping them figure out what their favorite pieces of the business were. Was it health? Was it parties? Was it expos? Was it internet? What was it that made them tick? And then give them a stage to shine there. So if someone loves products, maybe on a call, they would talk about a few of their favorite products, and they would be the product expert within the team. And then what happens is everybody friends them, and then they feel really excited because they're being used in their skill set. Like, they thrive in that space. And so, if somebody's really warm and friendly, they get to do the front desk, of parties or check-in station, or kind of putting people in a place where they can thrive, because then their gifts are being used. They're being seen in that space. And I feel like they know that they're important to the team.
Yeah. And they feel like they're contributing. But
Yes.
isn't that what every human being wants?
Yes.
Every human being wants to feel valued and that they can contribute.
Yes.
So that's what I hear you are very good at, and what all of us as owners of our own company, as an entrepreneur, boy, let's get our people on the right seat in the bus, as Jim
Yes.
Collins says.
Yes. You want them to know that it's
shine a light on them. I love that visual.
Well, and you want them to know that they're a part of something bigger than themselves. And they've got support themselves, and we care about their goals too. And, we know that nobody can care more about our lives than we do, and they do, and I can't care more about their life than they do. And we know all of that. There's certainly boundaries within it. But when you create a space for people to thrive, you don't have to worry about loyalty, because they want to be there.
Yeah. Yep. Beautiful. I love it. Will you share with us, now that you've created this success with your network marketing company, you and Brandon, then you had on your heart, Denise, to write a book, to write a journal, to begin speaking, to launch your podcast, your Dreamcast podcast. I know you have a speaking engagement, a live event, January 13th. Share with us a little bit about how that seed of desire got planted in you. And then I'm sure you had to get to a new level of fearless to maintain the momentum of your own team, but also obey this calling on your heart to be a speaker and a trainer and a coach. So share with us a little bit of how did you get fearless around launching your other business?
Yes. Oh my gosh. It's been such an amazing journey. Ups and downs, roller coasters. It's been easier in ways, harder than in ways. It's never a straight line, right? But really what I found is that I love leadership retreats. I love helping my team break through their own personal glass ceiling, break through their own limiting beliefs, blossom themselves, thrive, and creating an atmosphere for that. And what I learned is that more people need that, not just my team. My team gets it, right? That's a part of the business. But there's people not on my team that need and want this type of information as well. And so I really sat down and said, I laid out everything. I mean, this is my heart and soul on paper. What is it that helped me grow? And a lot of it is in there, identifying your strengths, knowing who you are, asking for help, and utilizing the gifts that God gave you, understanding that we really are called to be more, do more, serve more, and that it's all there at our fingertips. And so I had to step out, and I got to step out, and I got to try to put pen to paper and wrestle through all this that was in my head and heart, and just do it one step at a time. And I think, Lisa, the interesting thing is I know how to run my business. That's not hard anymore. I've been there over a decade. I know how to lead my team. I know how to help people promote. I know that stuff. So stepping into something new felt like I was a new distributor again. Yeah. It's I don't know how this works, but I really know that this is what I'm supposed to do. So even though there's ups and downs and roller coaster rides. I have really just had to take one foot and put it in front of the other. So the journal launches on Tuesday, and I'm so stinking excited to finally get this into people's hands.
So beautiful. And you guys, did you catch what Denise said? She said, so I had to step outside my comfort zone. And then she said, and then I got to step outside. I got to. I mean, that is a mind shift right there. When we see, I get to try something new. I get to reevaluate my life and say, okay, I created that success. What kind of person do I need to become to create the next level? Mm-hmm. And I get to dream bigger. I get to try this. I get to master this skill. I love that mindset in you. Now, I'm sure that was taught, right, Denise? Like, who taught you that was, it's okay to be ambitious. It's mm-hmm. okay to create great wealth and success. Mm-hmm. You get to step outside your comfort zone. You get to the next level. Who taught you that?
Ooh, probably a combination, to be honest. I mean, my dad is like the hardest worker I know. And so that skill, like that was a value that was important to me. Our company really focuses on redreaming, as I'm sure a lot of companies do. And what happens when you hit your goals, is you can do two things. You can either keep dreaming, redreaming, or you can get complacent. And for me, complacency was never an option because it was like, and it wasn't ever about the money or the stuff. It was all about my growth. It was all about what's next. What else can I do? What can I create? How can I help? How can I grow? And so I love to say I'm content and ambitious because I love where I am and I know where I'm going. There's a lot of guilt associated with leaving people behind or growing outside, and I think that I've experienced a lot of that myself throughout the decade. But I love where I am, but that doesn't mean I'm done yet. And so I also know where I'm going. And so it's this balance of gratitude and vision that keeps me super excited about where I'm headed, but joyful in the process. At least that's my goal.
Beautiful language. Beautiful. Language is so important. And I love your language. It's just steeped in possibility.
Yes.
And truth. So the last thing I want you to share with our listeners is that it's worth it. So what happened in your own personal development, in your own personal contribution of who you became as a female entrepreneur, Denise Walsh, as a mom, as a wife, in the team that you created, and now you with your own speaking business and your podcast, mm-hmm. What does that feel like, and how is that worth it? And yeah, I'm sure you want to talk about the delicious material things too, because that's important. But share a little bit about both, Denise, what you're able to gift yourself, your husband, your kids, others, and then how it's worth it in who you become.
A couple things come to mind. I think it's my job to keep growing so that I can show people what's possible. And yeah. They learn so much just by being a part of it, just by being a part of a growing team, being a part of success that impacts the masses. But I remember we were on our Black Diamond experience. So this is like, there's only 2 in the entire company. We got flown down in a private helicopter, a $5,000 shopping spree. We went on a private island in a helicopter. It was like top notch. Okay. And I was experiencing success guilt. How annoying. I'm like in the midst of this experience and I feel like, man, there's a lot of people that work hard. Why do I get this? And I was experiencing guilt. And so I know this thing, I've learned a lot, right? And so I'm like, I know you become what you think about. I don't want to feel like this anymore. So what do I want to feel? And I start retraining my brain and thinking about this. And I want to feel grateful. And I want to all these things. I listened to The Strangest Secret on my run that morning. And I got a text right when I got back from my run. And it was from somebody who had promoted the day before. And she said, Denise, my family has changed because of our time in this company. And even if I make no more money, which of course she still is, and she is growing. This was a couple of years ago, but she was like, even if nothing else happens, my family is better because of this. We're closer to God. We're closer to each other. We're dreaming again. We've paid off debt. We've X, Y, and Z. And she said, thank you. And so in the midst of me doing this lavish, crazy, awesome, like whole nother level experience, I'm reminded that I'm doing what I'm called to do. And that I'm offering love to the world, and that I'm drawing people closer to themselves and closer to spirit. And it can be both and. So I get to do what I'm called to do and go on private islands. And who can say no to that? So it really was a matter of like, you can truly have it all. And when you do, and good people have resources to love more, give more, like that causes a ripple effect that not just impacts me and my family, but everyone around us.
Yeah. Isn't that true? I love that language too, by the way. But wait, what did you say?
Yeah.
Both and. Beautiful. Write that down, listeners, both and. I love what you just said, because I can remember getting, I think it was a top recruiter in a convention, and I was going up the elevator, and I had that guilt as well, that there was other people who worked harder than I did. And especially when you're in a model like network marketing, it is your team that creates your success as much, possibly even more than yourself, because we tap into the power of duplication. So I was going up in that elevator and just felt unhappy. And the person I was with, sideline, not my upline, my sideline said to me, "What's going on? You don't look like this is your night, Lisa." And I'm like, "I know, but," and I had the same. So maybe this is just a normal reality as you start expanding in what's possible in your area of success, and you start getting rewarded. Is this just you're a psychologist, I'm a psychologist. Is this just a normal part of fulfilling our destiny and being successful, that we're going to have this kind of guilt?
Well, I think it's just a part of the game. Just like fear of success, fear of failure, fear of what if it falls apart, fear of what if it doesn't work, fear of what are they going to say, all of that. And including that, I've just learned not to take it seriously, because it's just a part of the game. And so I think, oh, that's interesting that I feel that way right now. Like, let's do something different. And so I've learned not to own it. I've learned to just experience it and be like, all right, well, let's move through it, because it's just a part of the journey, I think. And I know that every time I grow through that, I don't typically experience it again.
Yeah. I love that, Denise. One thing I share with my clients, myself included, is to just usher in a ton of humor. And I say, when I notice that I'm either sabotaging, or I notice that I have a behavior that is not suited for who I'm becoming, I say, "Oops, there it is. Whoops, there it is." And I bring levity to it. I make fun of myself. I make fun of the sabotage. I call it out. Whoops, there it is.
That's so good.
That's what we want to share with all of you, our listeners, on Fearless Friday, that when you have when you're noticing, thank God you notice the sabotage, because the only danger of sabotage is the sabotage you don't notice or can't call out or are unaware of. So awareness is a gift, and you can just bring levity to it and laugh at yourself. Oops, there it is. As Denise just shared, this is just part of your evolution, whether it's the evolution of success, or the evolution of getting over a failure, or the evolution of learning a skill set. It's just part of the journey, and we embrace all parts of that journey with levity and humor. As Denise just shared, don't take yourself so seriously. And so let's talk a little bit about that, Denise. Why do we beat ourselves up so much?
Oh, I think we would never talk to other people the way we talk to ourselves sometimes. And what we say to ourselves matters. And so giving ourselves grace and really just allowing ourselves to be human and taking one step at a time. Like you mentioned, awareness is key. So when you know and you can catch yourself going down that rabbit trail, then you can do something about it. But most of the time we're going down that rabbit trail and we don't think anything of it, and we don't even realize we're doing it. And so you're right. Awareness is key. And some of it comes from childhood. Some of it comes from just the people we're around. Like, we become who we're around. And so we have to change our space, change our community. But at the end of the day, if we don't have control over our thoughts, like, who does? So we really do get to take 100% responsibility for our thought life, which then impacts the way we speak to ourselves and the way we speak to others.
And here's the defining difference between a Denise Walsh and then somebody else who goes down a rabbit hole and stays down there or keeps going down. The difference is she goes down that too, but she only takes one step. I go down that too, I only take one step. And then it is my responsibility to shift my physiology, to shift my thought, to move my body, to create a new vision in my head, to start speaking life over myself, to start speaking truth over me in the situation, and calling myself to a higher level. And that, what Denise just shared, that is our own responsibility. That's yours, dear listener, and that's mine. So don't think that you are any different than anybody. Everybody starts taking that dip. The difference is we catch ourselves fast. Can you put in place a system, my friends, that you catch yourself faster? Catch yourself faster, because everybody does that, but then we take responsibility to, again, shift our state. So Denise, let's just kind of close out in that call to action, because I know there's lots of people listening on Fearless Fridays who they are ready. They want to be fearless. They've been fearless. Can you give them a closing thought on a part of your work that they can actually take hold of today and start applying to catch themselves, to keep their state, that of truth and expansion and possibility and positive?
Yes, absolutely. And this is why I created the materials that I have, because I've used it myself for 8 to 10 years, and it works every single time. So the Dream Life Daily Journal, you can go to dreamlifetoolkit.com to get the Dream Life Daily Journal. And this is my morning routine. This is my morning routine, and it allows a space for a gratitude game every single day, because again, things are working all around us and we want to train our reticular activating system to see it. So our gratitude game, it has a space for prayer, meditation, journaling, a space to write out your dream life goal every single day, so you have that clear, focused intention, affirmations, visualization connected to that one goal, and then a to-do list based on that goal. It's called your Dream Life Action Items. And essentially, for me, this helps not only me, like I be, because we all know it's really about who we be that impacts the work we do. So I want to create a space to be connected and aligned and whole and healed and loved. And then I want to have a clear and intentional daily action that's going to take me in the direction that I desire. And so the Dream Life Daily Journal is exactly that. And I know that when you do it every day for at least 30 days, you will create momentum in your own life. Momentum is created by staying focused in one direction for a long period of time, which means every single day, whether it feels like this big of a step or this big of a step, right? You're doing something. And over time, you're going to see that 2 + 2 doesn't equal 4 anymore. And you're going to look back and go, wow, look how far I've come.
It's true. It's true. It's true, people. I mean, Denise and I were chatting before we press record, and we said, momentum is the key. I call it the big mo. And so Denise's system, specifically through this journal, can help you, guide you in that process, but you're actually creating momentum. You're tapping into the realm of momentum. And when you're in momentum, what does that feel like, Denise?
Oh my gosh. That's the thing. At first in our business, it can feel like you're pushing a boulder uphill, and then all of a sudden it starts speeding down the other side. And the how shows up for you like every single day. I mean, it blows the top off anything you've ever experienced. And now that you know that it's possible, you can never go back.
Beautiful. I love it. You are such a delight, Denise. Thank you for who you are. So share with our Fearless Friday listeners how they can get a hold of you and check out your website.
All right. Definitely check out DeniseWalsh.com. I'm on Facebook and Instagram at The Denise Walsh. My podcast is called Dreamcast, and that has been such a really great place for inspirational interviews and solo episodes about all of this type of content. And then Dream Life Toolkit is where all the products are going to be held. So check that out too.
Dream Life Toolkit. Beautiful. Thank you for who you are. God bless you, Denise, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you.
And thank you, everybody, for being a part of this week's Fearless Friday. May you take ownership in your life of fearlessness. Bye for now, everybody. Make it a great day. Thanks, Denise.
Bye.
Bye.